Hello, everyone. Today is a Thursday. Today I'm cleaning my apartment, which I've already started, and I am gonna talk about something. Don't know what yet. One second. I guess I can talk about my Asperger's. Yeah, I'll do that because I don't really know what else to talk about right now. So let's start. The idea is I have a psychologist, a, a great psychologist. Like, I adore her. She's really good, highly qualified. And I've been going to her for many years. She has been saying I have Asperger's since I first came to her, which was, I think I was 6, 7, something like that. But yeah, and she still thinks I have Asperger's, and I understand her because I certainly show some of the traits. Um, and I don't really have it in the typical way. Like most people who imagine someone who's on the autism spectrum or who has Asperger's more precisely, imagine someone who's really like not good at telling social cues or knowing how to react. I certainly used to be like that. In primary, I was so weird because I did not know how to act with other kids that the other kids literally called me the alien, or they made really mean games such as me high germs no returns, which means they play tag, but when they tag the other person, they'd say my name and be like me high germs no return because I was weird. So yeah, like at the beginning I certainly really fit the mold. Like I was bad at socializing, wouldn't understand if people are laughing with me or at me, and it did impact my life a lot. And Asperger's still impacts my life, just not in the same way now that I've grown up a bit. After forcing myself to socialize a lot and make friends, especially out of school, like I said in my last episode, in the gay places like bars, I have managed to live with Asperger's in a different way. My Asperger's now really expresses itself through obsessions, like topics and ideas and hobbies that I cannot stop thinking about again and again and again, repetitively and constantly ruminating them for sometimes days. And they're recurring. So sometimes I go from one obsession to the other, then another, then another, then I go back. It really takes up space in someone's mind to have these obsessions, especially when they're so intense, as I can now they're a bit more under control, but when they're bad, they're bad. Like, it means I can barely focus on anything the whole day. I guess that's also why I went to art school because it's very therapeutic, it's really hands-on. So doing something helps distract. Doing something manual helps me distract myself from the obsessions. One of my obsessions was with animals. Like, I adore animals and taking care of them. I really do, especially birds and rodents. The thing about it is, there's just so many animals you can have and be reasonable about it. So I had to limit my pets, because if I don't do that, I'll end up with a zoo, like a full-on zoo in my home, and I won't be able to afford it, and the animals will be miserable because I won't be able to give them proper care. Another obsession of mine were plants. So I've had like mini greenhouses in my rooms when I've lived with my parents several times, grown Nepenthes plants, which are a type of carnivorous plant. I've grown all sorts of weird things. I've used their terrace to grow corn even. So that's another thing that really occupied my mind, and I still do sometimes, just sit in front of a plant and stare at it for an hour. Like, I'm just there like, And I keep on thinking about it and like its leaves and how it will grow. So that's the thing. It sounds benign, but when you can't control it and you can only think about these things that really fascinate you, it gets in the way of like, I don't know, cleaning up your apartment, doing things you have to do, homework. Yeah, another obsession I have sometimes, which is actually kind of useful, is drawing, painting, things of this sort. And as I'm studying art, it really comes in handy sometimes. But this isn't my only obsession, so it's only helpful sometimes because it's only sometimes there. Like some weeks, I can only think about that, and it's great for my studies. But then other weeks, not the case. Then again, it's hard for me to pin down which of my mental problems come from Asperger's and which ones come from other conditions, because I've got a whole basket full of those. I also have ADHD. I have, dyslexia. I have an anxiety disorder. I have, I have a form of chronic psychosis. That's what the psychiatrist said, but I don't know the correct term. And yeah, and in addition to all of these things, I take like three types of medication for them. So I am a mess. And I don't really know which problem comes from where, but I'm still happy. Now that I've said all those things and I realize I'm putting it up on the internet, I'm pretty damn sure that they will haunt me later on. Like, future employers might find my channel and be like, oh no, we're not going to employ this person. He's sick. And that probably means from now on I'll have to work three times harder to be three times more successful in order to get normal, a living that I want to get. So yeah, I don't know how to feel about that, but I'm still gonna post this. Luckily, I'm one of the people whose conditions are under control. Like, I've had horrible experiences in the past and been in psychiatric hospital when I had depression. But because of a lot of therapy and medication, I'm actually really happy with myself now, and I can function pretty damn well. Like, I am independent, I'm stable, I have a loving relationship, so I don't feel like I am living a hard life right now. Although, things saying that, I'm sure it's easier for others sometimes. Then again, it's probably easier for me compared to other people. Yeah, it depends. It's a scale. Then again, I haven't talked about my biggest obsession, which I'm really, really trying to keep under control. This one's the most pathological one I have, which is ethical purity. I'm a complete hypocrite because I'm certainly not ethically pure, but there is a part of me which really wants to be ethically pure and obsesses about it constantly to the point that I had like full on existential breakdowns because when you truly want to be ethically pure and have a clear set of rules and values that are completely aligned and have no overlap that's hypocritical, you are just an extremist. I'm not kidding. Like, think about it. If you were to truly live a life of ethical purity, you would be crazy. For example, a lot of people right now say they really care about the environment, and I do too. It's my the thing I care most about. But if we were to truly think about what's best holistically for the whole of life, well, fuck modern society, we should get rid of it. Medicine would go out the window because to take care of sick people is extremely uneco-friendly. So, like, we all talk about transport and shit, and like, I'm vegan, so even food, yes. But what happens when you get sick? You need hospitals. You need expensive medication, expensive in the sense of it's really costly to the environment to make it. You need huge like factories that produce it. And it's just not sustainable for the environment on the long term, I have. Of course, this is very controversial, and I'm not saying we should get rid of helping sick people and healthcare and caring for the weak at all. I'm totally for taking care of everyone. But if you are to truly care about the environment and every creature, and not be anthropocentric and think we're the most important creatures on the earth, then I'm sorry, but we have to go back to hunter gatherers. Otherwise, we're just being hypocrites. So that's where I got several times during the periods where I'd have these obsessive like breakdowns, and I think of this and I think, oh, I should just die because I use a lot of medication to live normally. And that, you see, that's when it gets bad. That's when it truly burns. And that's when you know it's truly self-destructive. So this is a part of Asperger's that is dangerous. A part, I'm sure there are other parts as well, but this part of Asperger's really is harmful to me. So although Asperger's you can certainly live with it normally, and life isn't horribly excruciating for everyone with Asperger's all the time, I'm sure that a lot of us have moments when our breakdowns get very serious and very existential. So I spring back pretty well from those, especially with the support of my loved ones, such as my boyfriend and friends. They really helped me through it. So in the end, I am saying I don't think we should go back to hunter-gatherer society. Not because it's not right for the environment, just because why should I hurt myself like that? It would be suicide for me. Now, I have a small perspective of some of the issues some people with Asperger's deal with. And I don't know a lot of people with Asperger's, so I can't really tell if everyone lives it in similar ways or if everyone varies tremendously. But that's my experience. And yeah, if you have anything to say, tell me. Put it in the comments under. If you have any positive, negative things to tell me personally, you can message me. I think you can do that on YouTube now. Yeah. In addition, uh, if you like my video, subscribe. If you like my video, again, thumbs up, please. And have a lovely day.